Hello. I'm Dr. Shana Johnston for any of you who don't yet know who I am. If you're seeing this now, you're actually on my website. You probably do know a little bit more who I am. But just to give you a quick recap, I'm a family practice and maternity doctor. I've been in practice for about 25 years, and I'm on a little journey of my own self-discovery. And the way that I'm doing that is through creating content to help women come home to themselves. And the interesting thing is, in doing so, I'm helping myself learn to come home to myself, because we teach best what we most need to learn. And I find as I'm trying to tease things out and I'm wrestling with ideas and trying to figure out what I want to say, I have to clarify it in my own mind. And in the process, I'm actually helping myself. So it's been really interesting, leaning into this journey of self-discovery through, in my effort to honor this calling that I've been feeling inside myself for about 5 years now of helping women come home to themselves, which of course I've been doing in a variety of ways in my 25 years of practice. I'm doing it in a new way over the past few years. And so my latest idea is to have a little video every week on my website as a slightly longer version of the topic that I'm talking about. I'm going to do a shorter version on my Facebook page, and then a slightly long, it's like 2 to 3 minutes on Facebook, and then like maybe 10 to 15 minutes on my website, just in case you want to hear a little bit of a deeper dive on whatever I'm talking about on my Facebook page. So this is the first video in that series, and what I want to talk about is something that's come foreground to me again, which is sleep and slowing down. And so for me, my sleep has always been a bit of an Achilles heel for me. Like, it's always, if I'm off kilter, if I'm out of balance, my sleep goes sideways. But I've been able to adjust to that a little bit better up until recently, like during my reproductive years, that I was with higher levels of hormones and that kind of thing. I don't know. I guess I was able to push myself a little bit more, and the both challenge and the gift of the menopausal transition and the changes in my hormones has been that I'm not able to push myself to the degree that I used to be able to. I used to be able to push myself quite hard, and now I find my body doesn't let me do that. And my sleep is the first way that my body feeds back to me that I'm out of alignment, that things are off balance and I'm out of alignment. And my sleep tells me right away, "Hey, Shana, I need your attention. You need to, and it's often around slowing down because that's my conditioned pattern, is to be moving really fast, really quickly, as we many of us are, because we live in this hustle culture. We live in this crazy busy culture where we're just like running around like chickens with our heads cut off. Like, just like everything is just so crazy busy, and we're literally living our lives from the neck up, and we're not slowing down and actually coming home to ourselves and landing in our bodies. And one of the gifts for me and so it's been a really rough lesson, but one of the gifts for me in all the sleep changes that I've had because of the menopausal transition have been that I've needed to come home to myself in body, mind, and spirit. And my body, mind, spirit tells me right away when I'm out of alignment again, and my sleep tanks. And this past week, my sleep has gone completely sideways again, because I started feeling better. And so I've been falling back into old patterns of, oh, I can take on more, I can do more. And just getting busier and busier. And I've had to really, and my sleep has told me, hey, my body wakes me up at 3 a.m. and says, hey, things aren't working. You need to slow down. You need to do something different. Things are out of alignment, and you need to come home to yourself. You are not home. You have abandoned yourself again, and you need to come home. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit this week, of what coming home to myself has meant, and how I've had to how I'm reminding myself this past few days of coming back and okay, I need to come home and actually land back in here and get myself back into alignment. So that's what I want to talk about today. So first of all, coming home to myself in body. With the menopausal transition, that's actually involved taking hormones and getting those all sorted out, and working with my doctor and my naturopath to get, estrogen and some bioidentical hormones that are in a combination that works for me, that's helping me to regulate my nervous system. That's been a big part of that. That's been a huge, huge help. And then also listening to my body, honoring my body's need for rest, honoring my body's need for slowing down and getting some downtime, honoring my body's need for movement, getting out for my walks and dancing and moving my body, moving the energy, because there's so much that we're taking in all day, and if we're not actually doing something to move the energy, it gets all trapped in our bodies and we feel all dysregulated and anxious and everything gets all weird. And so it's been reminding myself of my need to move and to breathe and to slow down a bit and to take some downtime, because when I'm actually feeling good, I tend to just take on too much. And I'm just like, it's okay, Sheena, to just slow down and take a breath and take things a little bit more slowly. And it feels really uncomfortable, which reminds me, which brings me to coming home to myself in mind, and that this is my worst enemy. This is where the problems are happening, because I'm trying to listen here, and then this goes and hijacks the whole thing. And what's happening is it's so easy to fall back into conditioned patterns, and I have a conditioned pattern of busyness. I've been taught through just our Western medical culture, and especially for all of the, like for 25 years in practice, and then the 6 years of medical training prior to that, and the 4 years of university prior to that, all of that has and like all those stupid 10-minute appointments and rushing and going and going and going, like I just kept having to push myself. And I'm not someone who moves fast naturally. My brain processes things a lot slower. I tend to be a deep processor rather than a quick processor. And so I don't process information nearly as fast as other people. So I actually come across as actually quite slow because I process things so deeply. And so if you're processing a super high def image, it's going to take longer to process than if you're just processing the thumbnail. And so I'm constantly taking things in a way deeper, in a really high def version of things. And so I don't move quickly. And yet I did so, but I was in this culture where it's like, go, 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 keep going, move faster, move faster, move faster. There's more people to see. There's more work to be done. Go, 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 go. And it's so I've developed this conditioned pattern of pushing myself and going fast, like just come on, Shannon, go faster, go faster, go faster. And so now that I'm trying to do the opposite, now that I'm trying to slow down after 30 years of trying to speed up, my body's like, whoa, that doesn't feel safe. And some of the things that start happening in here is I start triggering thoughts of of like fear around money. If I'm not doing enough, I'm not going to make enough money, and then we're not going to have enough to pay all the bills, and everything's going to fall apart, and I can go into a whole catastrophization around that. And there's also just this, like, I don't know how to, like, I seem to somehow I developed this idea that to have value, I need to be busy. And in order to slow down, it means that if I'm not busy, I don't have value. And I can feel that, like I can feel this resistance to slowing down. And like, it was interesting. I was talking to my dad the other day, who's almost 80. He's in less than a year, he turns 80, and he's still assisting in the OR 2 days a week. And he was talking about how he's slowed down from 3 days a week because he wants to spend more time with his music, and how hard it was for him to justify that. And I'm like, no wonder I picked this up. Like it's, and this is everywhere. And he's a physician as well. That's why he assists in the OR. And so it's like, he's taken that on from the medical culture. And then I learned that from him as my dad. And so there's this deeply ingrained feeling that I need to be busy to have value. And it's really, really uncomfortable to slow down. Like initially it feels great. Like initially I'm like, oh, phew, I gotta slow down, take a break. But if I do it for longer than like a day or two, then it's like, well, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you being more productive? And all of the thoughts I start just pushing myself again. You're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. What you need to be doing more. And it's really, really, I've been falling back into those patterns recently where I'm trying to take on more, and I'm complicating all of the things in my life instead of just letting them be simple, letting them be fun. showing up and enjoying my life. Instead of doing those things, I'm complicating them and I'm making them way harder than they need to be because this gets all in the way. So that's what I've been working on right now, is just really noticing those conditioned patterns, noticing that the way I push myself to be so busy, and really trying to consciously slow down and sit in the discomfort of giving myself some spaciousness. And it sometimes feels it feels weird, and I will get in my own way with that. And then the third thing is coming home to myself in spirit. And for me, so that's what I'm here doing today, because for me, one of the biggest things that helps me is leaning into my creativity, leaning into my soul's calling. My soul has been calling me to use my voice, to use my accumulated wisdom of my self-growth, of my self-awareness, spiritual growth kind of journey that I've been on for the past 25 years, in combination with the 25 years that I have of one-to-one visits, like with patients as a doctor, of using my voice, of that combined wisdom, of bringing that wisdom, allowing that to come to tap into something bigger than me, and to, through the lens of all that experience, to then let something be birthed through me. And I can feel I'm a little bit teary with that like I'm a bit emotional with that, because this is my soul's calling. This is what I came here to do. And I like to keep myself busy so that I don't actually do what I came here to do. And so my sleep's been a bit crappy lately because I haven't been leaning in the way that I know that I could. And so I've recommitted to myself to get my voice out there and have my voice heard, because I was doing a lot better in like January, February, March, when I was creating my course, Coming Home to Ourselves at Midlife. I was using my voice. I was creating really great I was creating content to get myself out there to help women come home to themselves, and in the process helping me come home to myself. And as I was doing those things, I started feeling better. My sleep got so much better, because I was like coming home to myself and allowing myself to live in alignment with my soul's calling. And then I started feeling better. And so I started getting busier, and I started taking on more things, and I started getting more distracted, and I wasn't doing as much actual sharing my voice, and instead was getting all caught up in, trying to figure out tech things, and trying to figure out, like, really trying to complicate what I'm trying to put out into the world. And so what I'm doing now is coming back, simplifying, and saying, I'm going to make two videos a week, one slightly longer one really short one, on something that's kind of topical for me, in that or something that I've been thinking about, or something that I want to share, and using my voice, putting myself out to the world to serve those of you who can benefit in some way from what I have to say. And so so that I can benefit from what is coming through me, because as I slow down, as I come home to myself and slow down and just create the spaciousness for the ideas and the wisdom and all of those things to bubble up, that's where the richness is. That's where I'm like, oh my God, these really cool ideas start coming through me. And that's when I feel really aligned, when I feel like I'm in alignment in body, mind, and spirit, where I'm listening to my body, I'm honoring my soul's calling, and I'm getting, my mind is just a tool to do those things, rather than something that I'm fighting, that I'm just like, hello mind, I'm going to get you to come help me with these things, rather than trying to create your own drama. And so that's where I'm at right now. And so I'm excited about being on this journey with all of you. It's because I think we're all here to heal together. And because we are ultimately all one. And so my hope for you is that this helps you in some way to come home to yourself in body, mind, and spirit, and move back into alignment with the essence of who you are, so that together we can raise the collective consciousness of the planet and start shifting the energy to something that's more in alignment for all of humanity. And so that's my little bits of wisdom for today. And I'm sending you all so much love. Mwah!